business cycle and stages of business cycle. Business cycle explains the expansion and contraction in economic activity that an economy experiences over time. So what is expansion in economic activity? So during the expansion of economic activities, the consumers will buy more, and that's why producers will produce more and they will sell more. So companies will have good sales figures, and because they produce more, they will give more employment to the workers, and so there will be high level of business transactions. That is expansion in economic activity. Contraction of economic activity is the opposite of that. That means the producers will produce less because there is less demand. Consumers purchase less. So that is contraction in economic activity. So the business cycle is that expansion in one time period and contraction. That means lesser economic activities in some other time period. Now, the stages of business cycle. First one, expansion. So in this stage, there is an increase in positive economic indicators such as employment, income, output, wages, profits, demand, and supply of goods and services. There is high level of employment because producers are producing more. They are producing more because there is great demand. Consumers are ready to purchase more. So because producers are producing more, there is higher output. Because in factories, more products are produced, so there is higher output. So to produce more, producers are employing more workers, and that's why the income of the people will be higher. And because producers are employing more workers, they want to attract more workers, so they are paying higher wages, they are offering higher wages. And because the sales of the companies are higher, the profits of the companies will also be higher. And more supply of goods, because production is more, so more products are supplied to the market. Next stage, peak. The economy then reaches a saturation point. So saturation point means the highest point. So beyond this point, the output or demand cannot go. That is the maximum possible point. So saturation point, which is the second stage of business cycle. The maximum limit of growth is attained. The economic indicators do not go further and are at their highest. So all the economic indicators like the employment rate, the income of the people, the GDP, so all are at the highest. Next one is the recession. So at the peak stage, the maximum is reached. So now the only thing that can happen is to go below this level. So the economy starts to decline after reaching the peak. So that is recession. The recession is a stage that follows the peak phase. The demand for goods and services starts declining rapidly and steadily in this phase. Producers do not notice the decrease in demand and go on producing. So the producers are still producing at the same level. That means they are producing according to the peak stage of business cycle. So they are producing more, there is more supply, but the demand has declined. So when there is more supply and there is less demand, the price will fall. So as you know, demand and supply are opposite in nature. So when demand is high, prices will be high. When supply is high, prices will be low. So these economic indicators like income, output, wages, so they will also start falling because prices are falling. Producers as a result want to cut down their production. They want to decrease their production. So they will downsize their business. So some of the workers will lose their jobs. So when the workers lose their jobs, the income of the people will reduce. The wage level will also reduce because producers or the factory owners want to discourage workers. They want to employ less workers. So they decrease the wage rates. So when all these economic indicators starts falling, there will be depression in the economy. So the main feature of depression is unemployment. So there will be many number of people who are unemployed. The growth in the economy continues to decline, and this fall below the steady growth line. So in the middle of a business cycle, you can see the growth line. Now the business cycle falls below that growth line. The fifth stage is trough. In the depression stage, the economy's growth rate becomes negative. There is further decline until prices of factors. Factor means factors of production. So those what the price of the factors means the wages, which is paid for the laborers, the interest, which is paid for the capital. So they also start falling. For example, the bank rates, the interest rate in the banks, they also start falling because there is no demand for the funds. There is not much demand for the loans of the banks. The business firms are not ready to borrow from banks because there is no demand. They don't want to take a loan and produce more. So that is why the banks lower the rate of interest. So then there will be further decline in the level of economic activities, and that is why the business cycle reaches its lowest point. That lowest point is the trough. Then there comes the stage of recovery. So now all the prices of factors of production has at the lowest point is very, very low. So the workers are ready to work at a very low wages. So now some producers start producing because the workers are available at very low wage rates, the raw materials are available at very less cost, the funds are available at very low interest rates. So the cost of production will be very low. So they start producing. And now the customers are also ready to buy the products because the price of the products are also very low. So then slowly the demand starts picking up and the economy also starts picking up. So that is why there will be a recovery in the economy.